Hello and welcome to the More to Life podcast. I am your host, Elle Mace, and today I am super excited because we have an absolutely fabulous guest. Hi, Amber Valdez.
Hola.
Hola, buenos dias. Amber, hi. You are a former American football cheerleader, TV presenter, and reality star turned seven-figure life purpose activator, spiritual awakening guide, and a business mentor. I love it.
Yes, I'm so happy to be here and shine some love on all your ladies.
Oh, no, it's so good to have you. It's taken us a few attempts to get here, but we are here, and that is what matters. So I've obviously just given like a bit of a top line as to who you are, but for some people, that's just going to be like, oh my God, I don't know. Let's find out more about her. So just tell us a bit more about who you are, kind of what you do. And then we're going to go from there because I'm going to deep dive into you, which I cannot wait. So yeah, just tell us a bit more about yourself.
Yes. So thank you, everyone. I know there's a million things you could be doing right now. So I promise you this pod is going to be worth it. And you're going to leave inspired and you're going to be ready to take some action to step even more deeper into what you're really here to do and who you truly are. So I am 44 years young. I
Young.
currently reside in Mallorca, Spain. I on vacation, I'm sure we'll get into that, but on vacation, short story, after losing my doggy. I was traumatized. He died in my arms, out of freaking nowhere. I'd won a trip to Morocco, decided to extend my trip just days after he died to go to Spain, had my niece pack up my house and put all my personal belongings. And within 3 hours of landing in Mallorca, I met now my husband, who I met on vacation after being single for 44 years, well, not being married and not having children, not thinking I was going to ever find my person. And within 90 days of my dog dying, I moved to Spain, packed up my life in America, got engaged and got married to the love of my life, the most incredible, beautiful man. So all you ladies who are like, where is he? Probably in Europe, just saying.
Yeah, get to Mallorca. And I have
Get
a
to
lot.
Mallorca. And
No,
I've heard that from the person who's actually moving into the house we're leaving. She and her husband met on vacation, and she's an American as well. So just saying, or her soon to be husband. So it's not rare. Not anyway, it doesn't matter.
yeah.
Um, so I grew up on food stamps and free lunches, being raised by a mentally ill mother. Food stamps is government assistance for all my Brits out there. And with a mentally ill, borderline schizophrenic, or borderline personality, which is a cross between schizophrenic and bipolar disorder. So the child protective services were in and out of my house. Cheerleading completely saved my life. I got to smile on my face and cheering other people on, which always brought me so much joy. Was bullied, all the things you can name it. Bullied because my nose was too big, bullied because my boobs were too small, bullied because girls thought I was rich when I really shopped at JCPenney's and worked at JCPenney's and returned clothes every week. So I love, and no one ever really knows what's going on behind closed doors. But needless to say, cheerleading saved my life. And my father, who was my biggest cheerleader, struggled with addiction, and he was in and out of our life. He lived in another state. And so when my dad died, it literally rocked my world. He was sober for the last 13 years of his life, but he's the one that taught me about energy and angels and told me I could be anything and that I was beautiful. And, you know, he was the first person I told when I had sex and when I first had ecstasy when I was 19. Like, I never hid anything from my dad and hid everything from my mom because she was mentally ill and would try to kick me off of cheerleading every single day. Like, it was literally, I was kicked out from the age of 4. And just to give you context, I was a good kid in school. So it was a lot of mental, physical, emotional abuse, financial abuse. My mom stole all my paychecks as a teenager, stole my inheritance from my grandfather, opened credit cards in my name, and I forgive her. I mean, to this day, we're never going to have a good relationship. But I've done enough work over the last decade to know that she's exactly the mom I needed to have for me to have the life I want. I didn't go to college. She wouldn't sign the loan for college. So, you know, I didn't have any money to go to school, and I would work 5 to 6 hours time because I never wanted to be broke. So, where I'm going with this is essentially that your life can completely change. And at the age of 19, a book, You Can Heal Your Life, fell off the shelf. And everything I'd always believed actually was the thoughts we think, the words we speak create our reality. And everyone always thought I need to get my head out of my ass, my head out of the clouds. And I always knew that I was meant for more. And it wasn't until chasing, I had an exercise addiction. I was anorexic. I had body dysmorphia. I was so hard on myself because, we grow up in a society where people think on the outside of what matters, right? And even I was working out 5 hours a day and I still would delete photos of myself. And I look back at pictures of myself. I'm like, good Lord, girl, like, what were you even? You were beautiful then, you're beautiful now, 20 pounds heavier you are now. It doesn't matter. But having all that fucked up imprinting. And so needless to say, I chased my dream down to Los Angeles and became a TV presenter. And as I was working at, in television at the networks, and as I was a nanny for celebrity families, and that's how I got the reality show. And it was like this slow burn of looking for my love and my worth in all the wrong places.
Yes.
And on the outside, it looked like, right? On the outside, it looked like I was living my dream life, interviewing Adam Sandler and Sandra Bullock and Ryan Reynolds. But really on the inside, first of all, I was barely making ends meet. And on the inside, I didn't love myself. So no matter what I did, I was chasing my worth so that people, the mean girls from high school and my mom would be proud of me. Right. And I was just, if I become famous, then I'll be worthy. Then I'll be somebody. Right. And it wasn't until I got bullied on that reality show, got an offer at a network, E! News, which was like my dream to be on, that I realized I didn't want to be on television anymore. I didn't want to talk bad about people. I wanted to change the world. I wanted to help the planet ascend. I wanted to help people love themselves. But who the hell was I? I was some broke girl who lived in a studio apartment with 2 dogs, who could barely pay her freaking rent, who didn't have a college degree. Like, who's going to listen to me? And all I knew is I didn't want to do what I was doing, but I didn't know what else there was, but I just knew this wasn't it. And I was in the darkest place of my life. And I had my 5th call back at E! News, and I literally walked off the set because I realized I didn't want to be on TV anymore talking badly about people. It felt like a hypocrisy to the world I wanted to create. My dad was dead. I didn't deal with that. So that finally just came up. And I found out the boyfriend that I was in love with was having sex with strangers and was living in my house basically. And I was paying his rent and his bills. So my dream was dead. My dad was dead. My relationship was dead. And that day I was going to take my life. And I thought, there's no home to go to. There's no dream to be had. No one loves me. So what's the point? And through the grace of God, I enrolled into a self-development training that completely changed my life. And that was in 2013.
Oh,
So
wow.
almost a decade ago. And I started my business at 35 years old. And I started on a platform called Periscope, which was a live video platform, kind of like Facebook Live or Instagram Live is now. And I grew from 700 followers to 10,000 overnight. And I just put an offer out to tell people, you want to learn to manifest, you want to learn to meditate, you want to learn to all these things. And this wasn't all really talked about very much back then, 10 years ago. And all of a sudden I had 27 people that wanted to work with me. And all of a sudden I created a business. And so I, since then, for the last decade, have supported people from, 19 to 70 to learn to love themselves, learn to own their worth through spiritual practices, through activating their joy, for activating their self-love, for learning how to be their biggest cheerleader. And I've helped them how to pivot out of their soul-sucking 9-to-5s, help them find themselves, have them leave shitty relationships, help them manifest their soul mates, and have them do the things that they didn't ever think was possible. So for the last decade, I've done that through one-on-one courses and retreats and one-on-one coaching and immersions and 6-week, 8-week, 6-month and 1-year programs. And I wake up every day with my soul on fire and helping people know that they matter, they're worthy, and their purpose matters. So that's the jam. And I broke my scarcity lineage in 2020. I had a $500,000 month, and I literally sobbed my face off, was like, holy shit. I remember when I made my first 60 grand, I was 35K in debt. And I remember going into the bank to like pay off this credit card. And I was like sobbing in the parking lot, being like, my mom never made more than 60 grand in a whole year, like making me emotional thinking about it. Right. Like, I worked my ass off, but I was like, I just made $60,000 in 2 weeks. Like, yeah, I busted my ass. I was pulling 15-hour days on sales calls, but like, I was like, oh my God, like I just literally rewrote my scarcity story of hearing you can't afford it and you're not good enough and you're stupid and you can't read and all these fucking things that like I was told as a child. So for anybody out there listening, your life can really change when you really start doing the work on yourself. And man, 3 back-to-back narcissist relationships. And then I meet the most kind, loving, amazing husband ever to walk the face of the planet. I pinch myself some days, but it hasn't been from going through some really dark, dark, dark shit. Heavy,
I can
heavy
vouch for
shit.
this because on our last call that we had, he came in, offered you water, came back, bought you some lunch, and I was like, "Oh, excuse me, I need this in my life." But no,
Mm.
he looks at well, he seems very, very lovely. So that is just such amazing news. And I know there is so many people listening because I know my client base and my community who are thinking, I need this, because so many of them are searching for that relationship, searching for maybe the person that they can have kids with, stressing about their age and all the rest of it. But so yeah, I think you're just giving like so much hope to everyone. And what I just wanted to touch on then is what you said was, when I'm famous, I will be happy. And that sort of like when I'm maybe earning this much money, well, I might be happy, whatever. So there's so many
Yeah.
people that have that thing that they're searching for, thinking it's going to make them happy, whether it's when I lose 3 stone, when I finally love myself, when I get rid of my body dysmorphia, or like, for you, it was kind of like being famous and whatever. And, that you can get there. Like when I remember back in my kind of anorexia days, I remember standing on the scales, hitting that goal weight, and I just felt dead inside. It doesn't do anything. And so for you in that moment when you were kind of living this famous life, this like, TV personality, when was your realization of like, oh, I'm here and I don't feel like I thought I would?
Yeah, I've had a lot of those moments. I think when I walked off the set on my fifth callback, and for no callback is like an interview, um, the voice, I have this voice that speaks to me. And it was like I felt so out of integrity with what I said I wanted. And here I am with a job that paid $8,500 a week, which, basically I was on the verge of getting my dream job, right? That I'd wanted since God knows a decade, right? But at what cost?
Yeah.
Like I was no longer willing to sell my soul for a paycheck or if this dream. I was like, but then it was like, I've been chasing this fucking dream, but I'm fucking miserable. Like I literally remember like screaming at my agent or my manager and my lawyer going like, I don't fucking want this life. Like everyone is like, there's children dying. There's actual real issues in the world. Why the fuck are we obsessing about who celebrity is fucking and what shoes they're wearing and like who's got what? Like this is absurd. Like all of a
Yeah.
sudden I had this like psychotic like movie moment of like, is everybody on the same plane as me? Like
Mm.
there has to be more to this. And like I felt like my whole life was an illusion and it was a lie. And I was miserable and I was sad. And I remember it wasn't until this training that I took that we were doing this process of like trusting people. And I ended up like smiling at everyone. And one of the teachers or coaches said to me, stop hiding behind your smile. And I was infuriated. Like I was like about to cuss this guy out. I mean, I had a lot of anger back then. I didn't think I was angry because I like polished it with, I'm so positive.
I'm
Everything's fucking I'm
fine.
fine. And I was like, anybody tells you they're fine all the time, like they're not fine.
No.
So I was dying inside, just like in high school, I was dying inside, putting a smile on my face when my mom is like kicking me out and I have like nowhere to live and like, throwing me outside of my house in my bra and underwear in the snow. Like these are like things that I'm like dealing with, but I have to turn around and put a smile on in a skirt and being bullied by these girls, like thinking I have this great fucking life. Right. So I had gotten used to hiding behind my smile. I had gotten used to it. So I finally just had this moment when that guy said to me, stop hiding behind yourself. I'm like, he doesn't know me. I'm a cheerleader. I'm happy. I like to smile. That's what we do. And I'm like fighting for this identity, this mask that I had worn to survive. And I'm getting in the car driving home in Los Angeles and I'm hysterical. And I'm like, oh my God, he's right. I'm not fucking happy. Everything is not okay. My dad is dead. My dream is dead. I don't love myself. I'm attracting losers. These guys that don't love me, that I give my whole life and money to these men that don't choose me. And I'm just like having this complete meltdown of like realization of like, oh my God, I'm the common denominator.
Yeah.
I'm the one attracting these guys. Broke, train to nowhere, Phil, bitching and moaning of why I'm still fucking broke. I'm the one moaning, why did he cheat on me? And why can't he just love me? And I'm like, I am the person creating all of this chaos. It's not my mom. And literally, I was like blaming my mom for everything. Right. It was like, because of my mom, it's because of my ex, it's because of this, it's because of society, it's because of the government, it's because it was everyone else's fault. And I think at that moment I was like, oh my God, I am such a fucking victim. I
Yeah.
was like, I have not taken any responsibility. I chose these men. I chose this scarcity. I'm choosing all of this, but I'm blaming everybody. So it was this like come to Jesus moment of realization that I was the common denominator in my life. And it was this really humbling moment where I was like, I'm not okay. And I'm not going to heal until I get real honest with myself. I'm miserable. I
Yeah.
am miserable not having a carbohydrate for 3 years. I'm miserable working out 5 hours a day. I'm miserable dating these losers. I'm miserable trying to act like I'm fine when I'm not. I'm sick of the lies. And it was like everything was a lie. I had built this whole world around what I thought everyone else wanted me to be or how I needed to look, including the jobs I was getting. And it was like really, really confronting and really dark.
Yeah.
And from you can actually start to go, okay, now we can do something about it
Mm,
because we cannot intervene in a world we cannot see. And
mm.
so many people, as you probably know, our clients are fighting for this identity of like, I'm good, everything's good, I'm this, I got my degree, I got the money, I got this, I got the husband, I got this. But it's like, it's all bullshit. It's like they're the walking dead. And I feel like I was literally the walking dead. And until I got to be honest with like, no, I'm actually not happy. That's when the work got to get done. And that's when I changed my life.
That's oh my God. You have to do the work. That saying of like, I heard someone
On the
say
Jesus
like,
moment, they say.
I've done the work. Like you have to do the hard work. In terms of like disordered eating recovery and body dysmorphia, like I say to people, this is not a diet or I'm not going to give you what you need to. You have to do the work. So just touching on that bit for you, then the anorexia, the body dysmorphia, the being in the gym 5 hours, like oh my God, I can say resonate with all of this. What do you think was the catalyst for change for that particular thing, separate from like maybe your dad and the dog, etc. But what do you think was that turning point of I'm not going to eat like this anymore and I'm not going to work out like this anymore?
It was literally when I started doing the work to love myself because
Yeah.
my dad would say to me when he was alive, honey, you need to love yourself. And I'd be like, Dad, I do love myself. Like, look at my life, look at my body, look at like it
Oh,
was all fucking appearance. And it wasn't until I was on television and to like noticing that like I wouldn't even let my producer show up to my house unless I had a full face of makeup on. Like
yeah.
when I took this training, I was in the bathroom because there's like a lot of emotions and stuff. And I was like fixing my makeup. And one girl came in who didn't know me well. And she goes, honey, I don't even know why you're wasting your time. She goes, that makeup's just going to fall off again the next session. And I literally had to have the perfect outfit and my hair had to be put on. Like I was literally living in this mask. And it
Mm,
was like, I sat in the back with my arms crossed, like these people are all fucked up. Like I literally was so resistant. I didn't have the money. I didn't have the relationship. I wasn't happy, but yeah, I had my shit together. Like I was trying so hard to make it look on the outside. And once I started doing the work to forgive my mom, to forgive my dad, to forgive my exes, to release the rage inside of me that I, by the way, didn't think I was angry.
yeah.
Like I literally was fucking angry. I was angry about my child. I was angry about my mom. I was angry about my dad for leaving. I was angry. And I did not, these were not conscious. But
No.
once you lift up the hood and you roll your sleeves up, because everything in our life is a choice and reflection from a trauma response
Hmm.
on a way to survive. And I had created this identity that everything was fine when I was like literally trembling inside. But I didn't want anyone to know, even though everyone fucking knew.
Yeah.
Like I was choosing losers. You don't if you love yourself, you wouldn't choose losers.
Yeah.
I finally broke that one at 44 years old, finally. Okay. But I mean, hey, better late than never, right? Or right on time.
Yeah.
Right.
Right.
But
Look,
like
perfect timing.
right on time, I could call in a kind, loving, unconditional loving man instead of someone I had to prove my worth to, which I was used to. I had to prove with my mom, I had to prove with my dad, I had to prove for the girls in high school. I had to prove. So as soon as I got to lift up the hood and actually do an inventory check, you can't fix the broken engine if you cannot intervene in a world you cannot see. So as soon as I started loving myself more, I wanted to drink less. As soon as I loved myself more, I was less obsessed with looking in the mirror, but less makeup. And for me, that was a big deal,
Yeah.
right? Having the perfect outfit and these were all just like habits. And so like, once you learn to love yourself, you get happy and then you don't need these things to feel safe, right? Like I was trying to control everything in my life because all I thought I had control over was my outside appearance, even though people could see right through that shit. Right. But I was lying to my own delusion of the world, the glass house I was living in.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So I would say that was it. When I start to learn to love myself, it was funny because the last two boyfriends I had were really hard on me about my weight. And I was holding on to weight because I was in a complete traumatic environment where I was in fight or flight all the time with narcissist demons.
High
And so
cortisol levels.
right. And they were grabbing my fat and like, you need to work out more and I'm not attracted to you. And ladies, I fluctuate between 10 pounds or so. Like, but I finally said to this last guy, I love myself now more than I love myself when I was a 00, hungry, okay, and angry too.
Angry.
And analyzing everything everyone else ate. So fucking judgmental, right? But it all started when my grandma died. That's when my anorexia went full on. And I didn't actually notice until years later. Right. But living in Hollywood is just even more fucked up. And like, basically my dream to be on E, everyone's like, we have to be as skinny as Juliana. And Juliana Rancic was this really, really, really thin woman who struggles with anorexia, who won't admit it publicly. But it's obvious. And everybody was supposed to be as skinny as her. Well, it's not sustainable. Right. So I was tiny, but not as tiny as Juliana. So therefore there's no way you can be on E, right? Because no one can be bigger than her. The times have changed now. Thank fucking God. But I remember telling my boyfriend at the time, I love myself more now than I ever did before. And when I was, in your mind, a gym rat in a perfect body, I was so fucking insecure.
Yeah.
So I like being curvy. I like having a butt. I look like a woman before I look like a little fucking boy, right? I look like a stick. And like, that's not hot. I look like a bag of bones. And I'm not judging anybody who's tiny. I'm just basically saying, like, I had to be like, I love myself more now than I ever did before. And if you don't love, you got to love me 10 pounds thinner, 10 pounds heavier or not. And my husband now, he fucking loves my body. And when I'm so hard on myself, he's like, mi amor, I love your butt. I love your legs. I love your body. I love your stomach. I won't let him touch my stomach because I've got stomach stuff I'm still working through, but he loves to touch my stomach. And that's where I have the most, if you call it fat, on my body. But this man worships every single roll, dimple on my fucking body. And because that's healthy.
Yeah.
That's healthy. What I had before was toxic.
Yeah.
And these were making me feel bad about myself because they had their own woundings around it. But I was attracting them because I had unresolved wounds inside myself.
Yeah. Yeah. And
I got to be right that I wasn't good enough because I was attracting men that weren't good enough. So then I got to be right that they were the ones that weren't good enough. But once you start loving yourself more, those men can't stick around.
No.
Because your frequency is too high.
Yeah.
Like, I will never, ever let a man in my entire life make a fucking comment about my body. Ever.
No. Ever,
ever, ever. And you will not be in my life if you do. Like, period, end of discussion. If your brain can even go there, you're fucked up.
It is so true that you won't entertain.
Nope.
You won't entertain it. You won't even consider it. It's not even a consideration if you know someone is not going to show you respect once you find that self-love, that self-care, that respect for yourself, which so many of us lack from such an early age, but also for so many years. And like, we're lucky. I think I was in it for whatever, 17, 20 years, you're in it for X amount of years, but we're lucky we've got ourselves out of it. But for those people who literally, and you said, you've got a 70-year-old client, I had an 84-year-old client who literally have just allowed this to be for their life. No.
Oh, well, I'm so glad they're working on it now. Like, it's never too late, and it's like, it's not your fault and it's time to change it. Right. And like, I'm so grateful for those men. I'm so grateful for my mother. I'm so grateful for my father who, did the best he could at the time he had. Same with my mom. I would not be the person I am today. And it's like, every person in our life, you have a soul contract with. This is what I believe. And I believe you have a soul's calling. You have a soul's assignment. And I believe that we all came on this planet for our own unique soul's assignment that I can't do, no one else can do but you. And if you don't do it, you essentially fail, right? Your soul's mission. And I have a quote that says like, maybe you're not depressed at all. Maybe you're just not living your purpose. And I think for so long I was searching for, why am I here? Why am I here? And what's my purpose? What's my purpose? What's my purpose? And then when I finally found it, I couldn't find it until I started doing work to love myself. Because if you don't love yourself, you can't own your worth. And if you don't own your worth, you can't be in service to humanity, because essentially you have low self-esteem. So it's like you have to work on these levels of like, far and have the cloud part. So then your purpose could come in. Your purpose can't come in if you don't feel worthy of it. Your soulmate can't come in if you don't feel worthy of them. Like I could have never attracted someone like Gustavo before. I would have been like, oh, he's too nice.
Too
Right?
nice.
Like I had
Yeah.
too nice.
Yeah.
Like I had too much wounding because I was used to men. I had to prove I'm beautiful. I'm worthy. I'm the one that can make the money. Look at me, look at me, look at me. Like every other guy, I used to do all the romantic stuff, buy the cards, buy the presents, buy the this, make the roses, like do all this romantic shit. I don't do that stuff for my husband. He does it all for me now, which is in itself my work now, because I have to learn to receive, because I was the one giving in my masculine all the time. But
Yes.
every single relationship you're in is a part of your learning and your soul's curriculum, and nothing's ever wrong. But you will keep spiraling on the train to nowhereville, taking the ticket and going to that same job that you're barely getting by every day, willingly, by the way, getting on the plane to the same guy with a different face, getting on the same ticket to being broke. You'll be in the definition of insanity until you actually stop back, set back, get some help to look at your life, whether it's a therapist, whether it's a coach, whether it's a program, so that you can go, fuck, I'm the common denominator. This is why I'm doing what I'm doing. I'm just trying to survive, and I'm in fight or flight. And I've been in fight or flight since I came out of the womb. I mean, my mom held a gun to her belly when I was in there. I had trauma. My mom kicked me out at 4 years old. She threw me and all of my stuff on my grandma's yard. Like that's my first memory I have. So like I had all of this trauma of, I'm not good enough. I'm not good enough. I'm not good enough. Clear, cancel, delete, clear, cancel, delete, clear, cancel, delete. But like I had to, enough is enough. I mean, I was on the verge of committing suicide. Where do you go from there?
Yeah. Where do you go from there?
Because I'm like, up.
Yeah.
But I had to humble myself to go, my life isn't fucking working. I am not happy and I need help. And it's the same thing that has to happen with your food addiction or your alcohol addiction or your Addicts Anonymous. Like I had to go to Codependence Anonymous because I was a codependent.
Mm.
You know? And I was choosing people who could not love me. What does that look like? My mother.
Mm.
And until I loved myself, I no longer needed a partner to love me. So my love came from overflow, not from please let me love you so you don't leave, which was the narrative I was running because I was abandoned by my mom and abandoned by my dad. Right. So I had to like go, holy shit, this is why I do what I do. And once I started realizing, like, it was like you're drowning and then you're like, oh my God, I'm fucking drowning. Oh my God, I'm fucking drowning. Let me just tread water to stay in, not until going like, hold on, why am I drowning? Oh, you have ankle weights on.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So let's like get conscious that the ankle weights are there. And then now let's do the work to get them fucking off. So now that we can swim and it not be so hard. Because as soon as you just go, fuck it, I got to just lift up this hood, everything in your life starts getting easier when you get off the crazy train to nowhereville and the definition of insanity. But so many of us pack our lives with so much shit that we don't actually have time to do a diagnostic check. Look at my bank account, the self-worth, look at my friendships, look at my relationships, scale 1 to 10. Let's do a fucking inventory right now, ladies. Open a fucking journal page. Scale of 1 to 10, how great your abundance. Scale of 1 to 10, how great your marriage or relationship or lack thereof. Scale 1 to 10, how's fulfilling your friendships. Scale 1 to 10, how's your self-worth conversation. Scale 1 to 10, how's your joy conversation. And then when you finally get fucking honest assessment of yourself, you can actually do something about it.
Yeah.
And you
Scary.
shouldn't, it's scary, but it's empowering. And so once I started to go, oh, this is why I am choosing as losers.
Yeah.
It's not because there's something wrong with me. It's that because this is all I ever thought I deserved.
Yeah.
So now I get to love myself more, because you cannot keep a relation. You can only let people love you to the level you love yourself.
Yeah. Yeah.
And once you love yourself more, someone can't come in underneath it because you go, nope, not today. And for me, it was physical abuse. The first thing I could draw a line in was when at 19, my boyfriend tried to kill me and strangle me. And that was like, okay, never fucking again. So then when the next guy started drinking a lot and he put his hands on me, I was out. It was like, no more, pal.
Yeah.
Right. Like the
Yeah.
physical thing was the first thing. It was like, I got so scared I almost died. Not again. But it
Yeah.
was the slow burn of the mental abuse.
Mental abuse is slower. Yeah. Unrecognized, like it's more subconscious.
Because you're like, oh, and then you get all this awareness. You're like, oh, it's me. I'm manifesting this. I'm creating this. And then it's like all that spiritual bypassing. And you're like, whoa, 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 whoa. Right. But then it was like, okay, one thing at a time.
Yeah.
Now, verbal abuse, you can't speak to me that way. Nope, done, out. Right. Then it's like financial, oh, nope, out.
Yeah.
So it was like slowly I worked up the level of self-worth.
Yeah.
But guys, the work's never done. There's nowhere to get to. But once we have awareness, we have power.
Yeah. And once you break through that like initial kind of procrastination, like, if you say to a client, right, when you go and do this list, they're going to be like, oh my God, tomorrow, tomorrow, tomorrow. Once you start to just do those baby steps and do the list or do whatever task you've been set, and then you do it and you complete it, you start to get into it. So like, just, you've got to push through that resistance, that starter resistance it's a big
We just
problem.
have to ask yourself. I ask my clients sometimes, how much longer do you want to feel this way? Like I'll get on a client call or on Instagram and someone will be like, blah, 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 blah. My this, my that, my mom, my God, my wow, 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 wow. And I'm like, cool. How much longer do you want to feel this way?
Yeah.
Well, not one more day. Okay. Well, what do you want to do about it?
Yeah.
Yeah, but my husband, but no, no. Like, how much longer do you want to feel this way? Well, when he this and when he that's and when she this, no. How much longer do you want to feel this way? Because based on results, this is the environment.
Yeah. Yes.
You're
Oh my God.
choosing it or you're not choosing it, right? How much longer do you want to do this for? Some people are not ready to change. It needs to be so
No.
bad.
Yeah. Hit rock bottom.
And I held that. I've held on to like let go and be dragged, and people are gonna take as much abuse as they need to hit their rock bottom.
Yeah. Yeah, and that, like you say, in terms of me and my eating disorder, I had to hit rock bottom in order to get my ass in gear.
Most people have to lose their wife, they have to lose their kids, they have to lose their relationship, they have to
God.
lose their house. And some people even then will still, I
Yeah.
mean, look at addicts on the street, for God's sakes. It's like, okay, you lost your family, you lost your home, you were eating out of a garbage, but you still want that crack, right? So it's like you have to know that like addiction, for example, is its own beast,
Yeah. Oh yeah.
right? And disease, and you need help. You can't do that alone. Nobody can, right?
No.
And I honestly don't think we can do this life alone, period. And I think the lone wolf spell is what keeps so many people from living the lives they want, is
Mm.
because the shame of like getting honest. And shame and guilt is like fucking up our whole society,
Oh,
because it's
shame
like
and guilt.
it's an illusion. It's like we all make mistakes. Nobody's perfect. No one has their shit
Yeah.
together.
And that is so deep in the psyche, isn't it? That is just logged there so deep within you that you have no idea it's actually that is like holding you back in so many different ways. That's a whole nother conversation, shame and guilt. I am so absolutely buzzing because you are going to be coming to the Revive and Thrive retreat in May, the start of May bank holiday. And you and me, we're going to be deep diving into all of this stuff. And you've got some incredible activities to do, which I'm so excited about. So yeah, for those of you that are listening that feel like this is resonating, you're holding on to anger, you're done, you want that transformation, you want a holiday. And obviously you guys can check out the Revive to Thrive retreat, and there is only around 6 spaces left. So we can't wait to have you, Amber, there. That would be amazing. So just like the last couple of minutes, I know you've got a client call to get to. What would you say then in terms of like doing the work, etc.? We know that the healing, the process, etc. If someone's thinking, well, I want to try this spiritual journey, I don't really know where to start, what to do. What would be like your top tips for kind of someone starting their spiritual journey?
Yeah. First of all, I would say that you're not alone. Everybody right now is going through the planet is going through an awakening. All
Yeah.
right. So first of all, you're not crazy. You're just ascending. And I want you to write that down somewhere, because if you're looking at your life right now and you're like, oh my God, I don't like this job. There has to be more, but this is not it. You are waking up. And what do I mean from waking up? I mean, you're waking up from the matrix spell that is basically saying to you, you got to get a good job with good benefits and get the house and the white picket fence and have the family. And then all of a sudden you wake up in your 30s, 40s, 50s, 60s, 70s, 80s, 90s and go, how the heck did I get here? My family, I don't resonate with. I don't resonate with my friends anymore. The things I used to do don't bring me joy. I feel like I'm dying in this marriage. You're literally feeling like you're waking up to like a life that you can't believe you actually created. Like your whole life is starting to look like, whose life is this? And then you're starting to beat yourself up. And maybe you mentioned to your family, I just feel like I need to get a new job. Why would you get a new job? You put so much time in, you've got benefits, this, that. It's hard to get a job out there. Don't quit your job without a next one. And you've got all these people basically telling you that you're crazy. I want you to know you're not crazy. You're actually waking up from a slumber of
Yeah.
living in this matrix, being a freaking robot and being conditioned of what everyone else thinks you're supposed to do. And you're starting to come out of this sleep as a zombie.
Mm.
And listen to the whispers of your soul.
Mm.
If you have these ideas, I should write a book, I should go to Bali, I should this and that. It's, I believe, your spirit guides and your unseen team of angels and ancestors that are talking to you, trying to call you home to who you are and why you're here. And so oftentimes your family's not going to get it. Your friends aren't going to get it. And this is why you're guided to podcasts like this, right? Because Elle gets it. And you're going to start to attract more and more people that are speaking your own language. So there are people out here who think like you think. There are people out here that believe what you think. There are people out here that believe that life is, you can change your life in a matter of time. And you get to follow those people and be around those people, because we can only grow in an environment. A plant can only grow as big as its pot. And a lot of us are stuck in little pots and we're getting, whatever you call it, suffocated. And so follow those calls of those books, follow those podcasts, let your intuition guide you, spend more time in nature, learn to meditate, learn to slow down, get off the flipping television. I'm sure you probably already are. If you're seeking knowledge and information, it's because your soul is whispering to you. So start listening to the whispers of your soul versus the yells of your ego or people around you that are trying to keep you in a box. And your expansion and your growth is going to trigger a lot of people, because if you grow, you're forcing them to grow. And so of course they're going to say, why can't you just be happy? Why can't you this and that? And what about your kids? And blah. If you're getting that kind of feedback, stop talking to those people, journal it out, reach out to get on groups on Facebook and Instagram, and start to feed your mind full of possibility, because there's a big world outside of the world you're probably currently living in. And your new normal, like for me, I didn't know any millionaires. No, almost all my best friends are millionaires, right? Like I didn't know any authors. Now, like almost all my best friends are Hay House authors, right? Like I, again, did not go to college, like did not grow up with, nice things.
Yeah.
Right. And it's not just about the things. Because it's like, I used to say when I lived in Hollywood, God, I just wish I could buy myself a Chanel bag or some Louboutin shoes. And it's like, I wanted to fill this void inside my heart. And now that I have the money to buy those things, I don't fucking want those things.
Nope. No way.
Why do I want things? I want a cool backpack from Morocco that cost me $20. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So like, I'm just saying that like, if you're in a space right now where you're being called for more, get yourself a card deck, get yourself, start journaling, start being outside, like just trust that like there are so many spiritual mentors like myself and like Elle, that are out here in the world that will help you as you awaken. Yeah. But please just know in my heart, you're growing, your pot is getting bigger, you're being called for something more. You came on this planet for more. So focus on listening to the subtle whispers of your soul, because they always know the way. You've got to get out of your head and into your heart. My family thinks I'm batshit crazy. Everyone in my family thinks I'm going to hell. Okay. They still don't even understand what I fucking do.
No.
My uncle's like, I don't know. You're on a camera on the internet and people just want to work with you and pay you thousands of dollars. I'm like, yeah. They're like, yeah, right. Like my uncle still doesn't buy it.
Yeah.
But like, don't expect your family and your friends friends to like fill your self-esteem and your self-worth and to affirm you and acknowledge you. They're not going to make you rich. They're not going to buy your courses or your programs or read your book. The people who need you to shine your light and work through your own self-worth conversation so that you can find those people and they can find you. So lean in. You're not crazy. You're not alone. There's hundreds and millions and thousands of people who think the way you think, and you're waking up. And never dim your light so others feel comfortable.
Yeah.
And you'll probably end up changing your entire family because you step into greater levels of bravery and courage and pivot your life. But if you're getting naysayers, stop telling them your dreams, keep them sacred, and save them for the people that can actually handle it. It's not crazy to want the things you want. But you on your deathbed, you're not going to say, oh man, I wish I would have listened more to my family. You're going to say, man, why didn't I do the things that made me happy?
Yeah, totally. And like, yeah, I think you will be surprised when you do make those steps and make those changes, like how many like of your number one supporters end up being complete strangers, and you can kind of be like, why are they so supporting me when I have people that are closer that aren't? But that's the whole part of it, and that's the bit that you got to embrace and go with it and love it.
Yeah, you got to let those people off the hook. Like I
Yeah.
tell my clients all the time, I'm like, stop expecting your husband, stop expecting your friends, your moms, your Sally from high school, your neighbors to be your biggest fan. Like it's not their job to get it.
Yeah.
Like don't force them into getting something they're not ready to get. Like you wouldn't get mad at a 4-year-old for not being able to drive your car. Like
Yeah.
some people are just at different levels of awareness and awakening on their journeys and their path. Like some people, it's their first lifetime. Some people, it's their 30,000 lifetime. Like everybody's at their own growth and their own soul's evolution. But like you can't get mad at the people around you because they don't speak the same language as you.
Yeah, totally.
It doesn't make sense. Just get surrounded by the people who speak your same
Yeah.
language and love what you want to journal. If you want to make art, make art. If you want to play the drum. If you want to explore crystals and, music and sprays and oils, and like you want to go to freaking Morocco, like hit me up. You know what I mean? Just like follow what your soul is talking to you and spend more time in quiet and spend more time in meditation, so that you can get those answers that you're searching for.
I love that. What a positive vibe to finish on. Thank you so much. So just tell us, where can people find you on your social media? Hit everyone up, because
Yeah.
everyone is going to want to follow.
Oh, I'd be honored to connect with you guys and see how I might be able to support you. I'm here for you. The best way is I am Amber Valdez on Instagram. So it's I am Amber Valdez. I am Amber Valdez. I'm sure it will be in the show notes.
Yeah.
We do a free 5-day challenge that supports you with owning your voice on and offline. So you guys can totally be a part of that. We'll give you the link for that. It's automated and you can join at any time. That's a free challenge. And my website is ancient. I mean, it's like was made like in 2019, but there are ways on there you can sign up for my newsletter. And when I write emails, it's me writing them. And you can find out what I have going on.
Amazing. Thank you so much. And yeah, it's been an absolute pleasure. High vibes all round. Thank you, my love.
Yeah. And I just want to end with one thing. I just want to say
Yeah.
you matter, you're worthy, and your purpose matters. And the world is ready for you to do the good work on yourself so that you can learn to love yourself and own your worth so that you can get paid abundantly for your soul's calling. So lean in, do the work. Congratulations on taking the time out today to listen to this pod. And thank you for following this beautiful sister. She clearly has so much passion and love for what she does. So it's been an honor to spend precious moments of your life with you today. Thanks for listening.
Thank you so much. Cheers.
Thanks
Bye.
for having me, babe. I can't wait to see you in May.
Yes, May, Spain, Espanol. The party is there. Hopefully we will see everyone else there too. Bye. Ciao.